Alright, so you can see our pieces are dry, and I need to clean off all this white dust that's all over it, so I don't have to paint the whole repaint the whole piece. I've already cleaned this one. It's pretty simple. Just get a paper towel a little bit wet and just wipe off all that extra and then dry it. Okay. Now to paint this, we want to make sure that only paint the area that's white and get as little onto the rest of it as possible. So I've got my base color and a very fine tip brush, and I'm going to get that wet and dip just the very, very tip into my paint. And carefully paint this on. Okay. I do the same with this one. And you can see that I've got a little bit more white that needs to be washed off, but I'll wait till the paint dries and get the rest of that. Pretty simple. Now I've just got to wait for this paint to dry. Alright, so we're ready to paint our piece. I've got just a little bit of brown shoe polish, making sure that you really shake this up before pouring some out. Just getting a little bit of stain on my brush and then brushing it on. To the area of the paint. Try not to overlap it over the rest of the piece too much, because you don't want to darken the area around it. And once you've got that all covered, you just take your paper towel and kind of dab it off. Now you can see this has come a little bit too light, so I get a little more the shoe polish on my brush and go over it a second time, just to darken the whole thing up just a little bit so that it matches the rest of the piece. And again, just a little bit of paper towel and lightly dab it off. There we go. Now, just as a word of warning, when I first pulled out my stain, I hadn't shaken it enough and it came out too red. If that happens, get your darker brown once you've shaken your bottle up enough. Go over it with the darker stain, and you can usually get it to lighten up a little or go to a more brown color. Now I'm going to bring my stain a little farther out on the piece so that I'd blend my colors a little better, because I've had to fix a mistake. Okay, and once this dries, it'll look good.